Okay, here we go. Deep breath.
It's still loading. So welcome everybody. So glad that you are here. I'm not able to see you all the way yet. So I'm so grateful that you are here in this miraculous call that we get to experience today. So I want you to be thinking of the things that you are grateful for today. You know, we're in a time right now where things are a little turbulent, and I would really love for you to be thinking of the things that you're grateful for. And if you can, put it in the chat, you know, what you're grateful for today, and let's focus on that gratitude. We're very excited to be able to have Gary and Hope join our call, that they have other engagements that they have squeezed us in. So we're going to be a little fluid with the call today. So as they come in, they'll be able to support us with going into a coherence experience and being able to connect with our heart to be able to send out. We're very excited about that. I just want to say hello. You know, if you guys wouldn't mind turning on your cameras. Hello, Diane. I would just like to say hello to you. There's Teresa. Hello, Diane. Hello, Katie. How are you? Hello, Luke. How are you doing today? So good to see you. We had a beautiful prayer ceremony this morning, and hello, Deborah Ann. Thank you so much for leading that. It was such a beautiful experience. Hello, Bridget. It's so good to see you. So glad that you are here. Thank you so much for all of your service that you give. Hello, Catherine. How are you? So good to see you. Hello, Katie. So good to see you on your hike. It's so great to see that you're outdoors, and it looks beautiful there. So grateful. Hello, how are you, Cecile? It's so good to see you. Great. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. I'm outdoors too, and I'm with you at the same time, which is great.
Oh, I love it. Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Lourdes, actually, in France. I don't know if you've heard of that place.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh,
Yes.
It looks gorgeous out there. So glad that you're getting some fresh air, and
Yes.
thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and start with some marmas today. And then when Gary and Hope get on the call, if somebody can see that they're coming in, if they'll just interrupt me and let me know that they're here, that would be great. So Carol, you know, before we go, I just want to spotlight for everybody, the people who are supporting me. Cornelia is away. She is traveling, and we have a wonderful team. Robin, where are you? I can't see you. Teresa's helping me today, and Robin Lee, and I don't know whether Robin's there you are. Thank you. This is my team today. Thank you so much for being there, for helping me while Cornelia's away. I'm just I used to do this a lot, and I'm getting used to it again. So we want to just wish Cornelia a very safe trip and happy travels, and we're so grateful for her. So Carol, if you will go ahead and lead us in the
before I do that, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Clint and the Ancient Secrets community for the prayerful support that I've been receiving. We've been going through some difficult times. My daughter, the day I left for Japan, the decision was made that she's gone back into hospice from palliative care. And that was such an emotional time. And she was in the hospice facility last weekend, and the stress of it all kind of got to me, and ended up with a little stomach flu on Monday. And I've had to find gratitude for purging. And it's interesting how much wisdom our body has, even though it's unpleasant. getting all of that poison and all of that stuff out of our system so that we can start anew is a very healing process, even though it's a really unpleasant one going through it. I'm still trying to find gratitude in all because it's part of the whole picture. So for those of you who don't know what a marma is, it's very much like acupressure points. They're used in martial arts in some different forms because the points are so sensitive. They can also be used to disarm someone, but we use them for healing. And it's as simple as putting pressure on a point. And we do things in rotations of 6. So they're very powerful and they're very useful, especially when you find yourself with anxiety, fear, being unsettled. This is something you can do in the emergency room while you're waiting to calm yourself and to reassure yourself and to get back to being centered. We look at things in terms of vata, pitta, kapha, which is are these constitutions, and a lot of us, when we're in anxiety and fear, are in this wind mode of motion and movement, and a lot of these marmas are made to help calm that wind, to bring peace and equanimity. So without further ado, we're going to do kind of a set that we were doing on a daily basis as part of our miracle experiment game. And I think that you'll find if you add these to your daily routine to do them, I used to set my alarm every 3 hours and do them 6 times a day, and found that I had a little hammer time thing saying mama time. But having that practice of doing them repetitively so that your muscle memory is created with marmas is a very powerful part of the ancient secret practice and kind of the whole lineage of using our own healing to bring us into a place of calm and equanimity. So the very first thing that I like to start with is freeing up space. This was a suggestion from Susie in our community that before we can get to things like self-love, sometimes we have to let go of our victim story of who we say we are and see ourselves in this universal love, in this at one-ment that we all are a part of. So we do that on the left hand, which represents the past. The right hand represents the future. And I know I'm mirrored imaged here, but this is the left hand. Your thumb is up, the fingers are out to the side. And we use the pointer finger here and the thumb on the back side. And while we're doing this, you can just find that little pressure point that's sensitive. Then you both feet on the ground, your spine straight, a deep breath, and then picture a red frame over your left eye. Hold in that frame an image of something that you need to let go of. If there's a picture of your fear, if there's a picture of anxiety, maybe it's a newscast, maybe it's the boogeyman from your childhood, whatever that is that's holding you back, creating fear, anxiety, or guilt or shame, you can put it in that frame and then watch as it dissipates as we press this point on our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, that's the letting go marma on the left hand. Then the next thing that I think is just such an important thing, and it was one that I really struggled with for so many years, was self-love. And it wasn't until kind of it dawned on me, I can't love my neighbor as myself if I don't love myself. And that God doesn't make junk. God is in all of us. We all have a purpose to discover, which Baba Ram Das reminds us, who is Dr. Naram's master. And we do this self-love on our ears. And the way we're going to do it today is with both hands out like this on the lobe of the ear. And we're going to do this one 6 times as we hold love for ourselves in our hearts. So picture your heart. Picture all the love that you have for others, your creatures, your fur babies, whatever it is that you feel love for. Turn that around and put that on yourself and practice self-love. We're going to do the ears 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is also one on your right ear that you can do while you're sitting in a meeting. You're kind of propping your head up, but in the background, you're kind of doing this and you're squeezing your ear and having that peace and calm. I am love. I am loved. I'm at peace. And you can do that kind of indiscretionally where nobody needs to know what you're doing. You can also do that for others as a just a little love gesture. I always think of Carol Burnett when she used to do that for a signal to her family that she was sending love. The next one that we're going to do is bringing ourselves into the present. So past is where we find depression, angst, fear, anxieties to the future. And so we can let go of the past and the present and the future by bringing ourselves into the present. And one of my favorites is the one we do between the lip and the nose. And we had a beautiful, I think it was Rabbi Stephen Robbins that told us that there's a kind of a tradition that this was a smiting point by the angels where we are removed. They put the veil in and remove our memory of past lives or karma or those kinds of things. So this is known scientifically to stimulate flow to the brain. So we're going to do this marma here. We support ourselves with our left hand at the base of the neck. And this is also kind of a marma point back here where you're feeling supported so that your head kind of can rest. And then as we do this, we're going to feet on the ground, back is straight. We're going to exhale the finger away and inhale coming back. So exhale. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. Inhale 4. Exhale. Inhale 5. Exhale. And inhale, that's 6. All right. And then the one for kind of being at one with those around us, it's kind of a bringing us into focus. And it's above the brow line and below the third eye. So right in about here. We're going to do this one a little bit quicker breaths, but the same process. Left hand behind your head, using your index finger there on that top of the bone below the third eye. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. One Millie Rogers likes to call the Indian head squeeze. And this one feels really good because it helps get circulation to your brain. We do this by, we're going to, tips of our third fingers will touch. We put the palm of our right hand on our forehead, and we stretch our hands out as far as they go with those tips of our fingers still touching, and pull your scalp up. Sorry if it messes up your hair, Beverly, but we're going to pull this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we've done the head squeeze. All right, this is one of the most important things that you'll see in this segment, and it's called a mudra. And this is something that now that we have blood flowing to our brain, now we're going to increase the blood flow to our heart. And there's things that we're connecting here so that when our consciousness is present, we have this connection here so that we can think with our heart and love with our mind. So this mudra is done with the left thumb in the right palm. And you put it across this way, and then these fingers fold down over your thumb. Then this hand comes up, the third finger touches the thumb, and the others kind of join to touch the thumb where possible. People have different levels of arthritis in their hands, and this can be difficult for some. Do the best you can at covering that thumb, and it looks like a shape of a heart if you're looking at it. And then you press these fingers 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We've had great success with this being done in the ambulance after having what might be a heart attack, because it helps that blood flow. Can also bring down your blood pressure if you're in a stressful situation. I found when after being so dehydrated on Monday in the hospital, my blood pressure was 139/95 when I went in. And after just getting IV fluids, my blood pressure dropped to 115/79 just from being hydrated. So note to self, hydration is so important, and it can really help lower your blood pressure without taking any medication if you don't need that. But if you need it, by all means, take it. So then the next thing, the last thing that we're going to do in this segment is what do you want? And knowing what you want is one of the things that really brings the ancient secrets together, because we have a purpose and we have a focus and we know what's important. And that's how we get there, is with the what do you want marma. This is one Dr. Naram was really famous for. And he asked everybody when he saw them, what do you want? And so few people are really in touch with what they want from their soul level, from the heart level, not the ego saying, oh, I want a house, I want a car, I want a fur, I want a big fancy purse. That is from the ego. And what we're looking for is what is coming from your heart and soul. So this one is done on the right hand for the future on the index finger. And it starts up here at the top, and we create a white frame this time over the right eye. And then we ask ourselves at our soulful level via the heart, what do I want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then the middle part of this is something we've kind of focused on through the last miracle experiment game. And that is, what's the most important thing for me to do now? And for now, it might be today, it might be this week, it might be this month. Whatever your now looks like, ask yourself, what's the most important thing for me now? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's to get yourself out of a particular situation you found yourself in. Maybe it's to let go and to start afresh with being in charge of your own destiny. So we're going to do this one 6 times as we picture, what do I want now? What's most important now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then lastly, this visualization, bringing it all into the picture. Once I have what I want, how will I feel? What's changed? How will things be? How can I see myself in this successful situation that I'm creating for myself? And we do this one 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That was my Buster walking across the screen. And then we anchor it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we get that clarity of what do I want, we turn it into a gratitude statement. Mine is, I'm so grateful that I'm always in my rightful place at the right time for my most divine purpose. Even if it's in the emergency room with a stomach flu, there's something to be gained from that. So wherever you are, whatever's happening, it's for your own best good. So thank you for this time. I love you. I'm with you. And Jane, I'll turn it back over to you.
Carol, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I love the detail that you go into it. You can tell you really use the marmas, and thank you so much. We are so honored to be able to have Hope join our call today. Hope, if you'll unmute and say hello.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So nice to be here. Hi, Carol. Hi, Jana.
Hello,
So nice to see you.
hello. Well, I'm so excited. For those of you who don't know Hope, Hope is a spiritual teacher. She is part of our community. She was able to go to Nepal last year. She's been doing spiritual work for over 20 years. She's a spiritual coach. She does dowsing, and she is a conduit for a very lovely presence. And we're so honored. I'm going to cry. I love her and her gift very much. And I think that she'll be able to bring some hope and some comfort to us today with all the things that are happening in the world. So Hope, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to you. I love you so much.
I love you too, Jana. Thank you. Just want to make sure I can share so that I can get the music going.
Oh, yes. Let me make you a co-host.
Okay, and I'll cue it up and get it ready and just have a few words here. I just blew in from I was away last night, and let me just make sure I do the right thing here.
We are so grateful. We are so grateful that you did blow in. So just so you know, I reached out at the very last minute and asked her to join our call. And without a doubt, she said, I would be honored. And so I know that she's got a very busy schedule, and we're so grateful that she's able to just come in and be able to do this beautiful thing for us.
Well, I love this community, and even though I'm not on a regular basis involved, I have everybody I've met in this community has touched me, and really just you're amazing people. So I don't know in advance who or what will be speaking, and so I just turn it over, and hopefully something meaningful will come through for everyone today. All right, I'm going to start the music now. 1 second. Hope I can do this right. I'm always a little.
And if everybody can just put their feet on the floor and just relax, and we're going to go from our head to our heart.
Just give me a thumbs up that you hear the background music. Good. All right. All right, beautiful. So let's just take a moment. Just please make sure you're muted. beloveds. We are grateful to you today for gathering with your open hearts to pursue a path of peace. A path of peace that is not solely for yourselves, but for the larger world as well. As always, however, we must begin with you, with finding that place of peace within you. So let us begin by finding that that core, that inner sanctum, hidden deep within you and your field. Wrap yourselves in a gossamer fabric. Wrap yourselves in the stillness. So you may come in contact with that place that holds serenity. Dwell there for a moment. You may picture in this inner sanctum of yours that it is like a perfect pearl. It is luminescent. Yet motionless. There's a gentle light emanating from this pearl. the very seed of you. And a place where you can return again and again. Allow the gentle light to emanate outwards. Filling the inner sanctum and moving beyond it. Permeating into your entire body, delivering that stillness as it goes. Extending further into the field around your body. So that now the entirety of you is filled with the luminescence of peace. Now, luminous ones, let us gather, stringing our pearl-like beings together into a giant circle. Suspended over the earth like skydivers.
Hope, if you'll unmute.
Raining down our peace upon Gaza Strip, Israel, Palestine, and all the neighboring countries. Releasing our pearlescence of love and compassion and commonality. On the land and the people. What we can do is leave our pearly selves there while we return to our bodies. We will leave this circle of peace to rain down in the gentlest way upon the land.
The energy that's transmitted through you is absolutely incredible. Thank you for the prayer upon the people of the world, upon that troubled area. Thank you for this beautiful blessing.
Needed it myself. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you for joining me.
Absolutely. I just feel like we just need just a moment more to kind of just gather ourselves, say our own special prayers. You know, there are many people in our community who are affected by what is happening. Family members and friends, and just even people who have been there that have fallen in love with the people. We just ask a special blessing and prayer on everyone right now. Let's go ahead and rub our hands together and send a blast of incredible love, honor, respect, whatever you choose to send, peace, love. May blessings be upon that part of the world, and so it is. Yes, I would like to hear from you, Shifra.
Hi, I just thought that was incredibly beautiful. Hope you gave me hope. I lived there a long time ago. I was going to make Aliyah and go live there, and I've been so horrified by what's been happening for so many years that people, I was horrified by this massacre. There's no justification for what Hamas did. So we can hold two truths at the same time, that people have been living in a giant open air prison for, decades, getting killed, no freedom, no clean water. It's just, if we don't look at, I heard one man say, his name is escaping me, but James Zogby was saying that, there's two narratives, but the narratives of both people have to be taken into account, and that bombs and guns and walls and nuclear weapons are not going to solve this problem, and that people look at the ups and downs, this suicide bombing, this incursion, but what we have to see is the root, and the root has to be that everyone is treated with equality and love and respect, and that each life is equally precious. And it's very heartbreaking. I was crying, and I think that's good, because we have to come from the heart, and
Shifra, I love your words. I love that you see us as one,
one.
and we are one. Yeah.
One, and we're not all equally situated, unfortunately. And my prayer is that my people, I'm Jewish, will see that our destiny is bound with the destiny of the Palestinian people, and that if we want peace and security and justice, we have to extend that as well. And my prayer is that some of the leaders who I think are acting in insane ways will somehow be stopped, or will wake up and return to the truth, and that place that's sacred to Jews and Muslims and Christians and Baha'i and Druze and secular people, it doesn't matter, but it's sacred to many religions, that peace will come from that place, that love and healing. That's all. It's heartbreaking for everyone there. Just
Thank you,
send
Shifra.
love. I know Nehemiah, I don't know if he's here, but I know he lost people. Every life is precious, and we don't want anyone to be killed. Everyone and I hope that our country could act like an adult and really look at the root, and know that more weapons will not solve this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Shifra. Nehemiah.
There's not much to add to this powerful universal prayer and understanding of the two women before me so beautifully. I just want to say that I don't have to call it, fortunately, the kibbutz of my brother is a few miles away from there. But there are other relatives in the father, and a family of 5, and I'll mention the name: the father Aviv, the mother Livnat, and the 3 teenagers, Yonatan, Iftach, and Rotem. Each one of them having a beautiful future. They were killed in their bed, and the father was hugging them together in a envelope of love. So I hope that the transition was more love than fear, and to support every soul the same way that everyone before me said. It's not for us to judge why people are where they are, because we don't know. Just every soul that has passed to rise up so they can come back in a better place, and including those who are going to die and going to die in the future if it's going the same way. And pray, like Shifra said, that the leaders will catch it in time, because violence begets violence. There was a word in Israelis used to use this, bang vegamano, we do, and we finish the war. No, there's no winner. The only winners are the people who create the weapons. They get more money. We all lose. So let's pray for this 5 if you want, and to everyone else, which we already did, but I just add if you want to do special thing. It will be great, because they need extra support.
Nehemiah, thank you. Thank you. I know that you're connected over there, and thank you for your words. I believe that love is the best and most powerful weapon we have. And yes, it's very heart-wrenching to be able to see what's going on, and just sending our love is going to be so powerful. So thank you.
You want to do it one more time?
Yes, let's do it one more time. You know, we could be doing this all day long. All day long. And just be aware, you know, the reason why we started out with Carol with the Marmas in the very beginning is to be able to give you tools so that when you start to merge with the tragedy, that you have skills to be able to help yourself step away and to be able to calm yourself down, bring yourself into the present moment. I loved what Hope said in her meditation and in her transference, is that we wrap ourselves in peace, and that we are able to really connect with that part of us that is whole and full of love. So, Karen, please.
I wanted to say two things. One, I put in the chat, but I wanted to thank Shifra for her softness this morning. Oh, it just made me feel so good. And I've never seen her so soft and loving, and I don't know what else word to put on it. So thank you, Shifra. And I have an email that maybe many of you got. I don't know if you're familiar with Lynn McTaggart. She is doing a peace event on Tuesday where people are all getting together and sending love or whatever she's doing. I'm going to attach it so that you can look it up. But she's had a lot of luck with doing that in the past and decreasing negative energy and violence in areas. So she's asking that everyone that wants to join her on Tuesday. So I'll put that information in the chat.
Thank you, Karen. Lynn is a good friend of Dr. Clint's. She's got the power of 8. You know,
Yeah.
hope you have the infinity wave, which is like a symbol 8. I would like you to speak to that if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, I'd be happy to. And I'm glad you mentioned it, because mentioned Lynn McTaggart, because I've put it out to my community also. She actually, she's a journalist first, but a researcher and a scientist second. And she's done her book, Circle of 8, and also The Field. She talks about the many experiments that they did from people from thousands of miles away, making certain seeds grow faster than other seeds. And she started small like that. But then when there was a terrible war in Sri Lanka, this is some years back, they did an intention prayer for Sri Lanka for peace. And there was a ceasefire right after that. So, you know, that's why she's gathering everybody together on Tuesday. It's going to be at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, 6 European, or I think that's where she is. So yeah, definitely join into that. I'm going to be there for sure. So the infinity wave, I'll just show you a little picture of it, is a figure 8 made of flowing water. It doesn't have to go up. It can also go this way. It can go any way. What this is a representation of a vision that came to me 10 years ago. And the infinity wave is an energy. It's a high velocity, high dimensional energy, which represents love and compassion. It's inherent in the watery flow. This is all water. So when we use the infinity wave, we're using water, and the delivery system includes love and compassion. It is one of the most amazing ways to shift reality quickly. And I was, excuse me, half expecting them to do it today in the meditation, but they didn't. So that's okay. But you can use it on yourself. And it's very simple. It's just a geometry. That's all you have to imagine. But if you put it in your heart and you sort of widen the heart with the water, let the water flow, you'll find your heart many times, not always, I'm just saying, it's common to feel a softening in your heart. And then as it starts to soften, because we get little tension knots in there for emotional reasons, of course, the water the love and compassion just bathes the heart, and then you start to stretch it across the chest. And it delivers this love and compassion first and foremost to you. We need it. We're not used to receiving, we're givers, right? So receiving infinite love and compassion is something we must do. It's the other side of the coin. The more we can do that, the more we can receive. We know these things, but this is one little practice you can do to kind of set yourself up. And what happens is then you stay in a place of flow. And when we're in a state of flow, we're also in a state of peace. It's just, they go hand in hand. There's lots more to learn about it and ways to use it. I have a book coming out in December, but for now, just start with that. And I don't know if I should give my website or not, but I'm not here to promote myself, but I am here to spread the word about the infinity wave, because I have seen miracles happen when we use it. It's very powerful. I'm also a dowser. And when we douse people who are waving, their energy fields grow 3 times in seconds. So it really works.
That's amazing. Well, one of the things that this book talks about, and Dr. Clint mentions in the book many times, is this book is to bring ourselves back to ourselves. And I believe that the figure 8 is one of those ways to bring us back to ourselves and to experience the love and hope. I think it's a valuable tool while we're going through this challenging time, along with the Marmas, to be able to be our very best self. When we are connected into that lower, that part of us that's struggling, or we're, even our own triggers, and we fall into it, we're not much good to the world. If we identify the triggers and work with them so that we can move through them, then we can come through with the blessing of what that has given us, and we can actually be our better self. And this book is really a big part of that. So Hope, thank you. And Hope and Gary have Gary Malkin, they have a Hope, can you speak to that just a little bit, what you're doing?
And first of all, I want to give, I forgot, but Gary's music is what was playing underneath the meditation. I only use Gary's music now because it's so effective at getting us into a state of resonance. And when we're in that state, lots of things open up. Excuse me. Gary and I have been putting together workshops for the last year. It's called You Awake, Mastering the Art of Change. We have different flavors of that workshop that come off the original, but basically it's a 4-step process that we call the chrysalis process that helps us to come out of whatever sort of frozen place we've been in. And we've all been in a state like that to varying degrees since everything that happened in the last couple of years. It's been harder to get out of the house, get out of, a mentality and a kind of a inner prison because of all the sudden changes that happened. And we're not always that adept. This is dealing with sudden change like that. This is why the infinity wave came in, to help us for our times right now deal with change. So in the 4-part chrysalis process, the wave is woven into it along with Gary's music and the transmissions that come through. We've had one of these, we did one in August, and a bunch of people from Ancient Secrets came, and it's an online thing. We've done it in person as well. They're very effective. That's all I can say. I'm learning as we go, you know, but we've put something together that seems to matter. It seems to make a difference. Jimbo was there, I know for sure. I think Esther was there. Anyway, there's a website called you-awake.com, and you're welcome to go and check it out. It's a minimal website, but at least you can get the sense.
It's a wonderful process. I was actually there, and you're able to move into a different level of emotion. You can move through the grief of life, and I think it's very powerful. So Hope, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming for this beautiful blessing. Thank you for the energy that you bring.
Thank you, and love to everybody. Big hugs. I can't wait to see you again. Hopefully in person.
Awesome.
Have a
Okay.
beautiful day.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Carol had reminded me at the beginning of the call to say, you know, it is October 15th, 2023. And the reason we are here is because of this incredible book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, written by Clint G. Rogers. And we talk about the principles of this book during this global call, and we connect, you know, as one with these principles, these ancient secrets principles that are just really amazing. And so, Carol, forgive me for not starting out with that right immediately. I totally forgot.
You're totally forgiven. And I took the opportunity, because I know some people leave at the top of the hour, to put in the things that we have coming up. These make wonderful personal gifts or gifts to share for the upcoming season. So I'm putting some of those out there. The 7-day delicious detox starts January 1st or 2nd, I'm not sure, but I put in the 1st, but it's that happening that week. And then we have a second edition of the Ancient Secrets 101, which is an introduction to ancient secrets. That starts on January the 11th. And then we also have the 100 Days, which was Dr. Naram's learning experience. And we've got that also geared up to start in first quarter. A few other things out there. I think there might be one ticket left for Taylor Swift. I'm not sure. But that's coming up in Brazil. And then we also have a few openings left for the magical tour of Nepal, where you get to actually be face-to-face with our kids, the orphans of Nepal, that the Ancient Secrets Foundation supports. So just want you to know those are out there.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was gonna talk a little bit about the stories in the book, but I want to move to invite Robin Lee to join the call. Robin, will you unmute and say hello?
Hello. It's
I love Robin's humor, by the way. We're laughing and now, we're crying, now we're going to be laughing. So Robin has been part of our community for a long while, and she was a part of the self-paced 100-day program. And she has done so much with the book. She's done so many things with the principles from Ancient Secrets. She is a longevity coach, health and longevity coach. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. Is that right? Health and longevity?
yes.
Okay, great. And she's going to be telling us her story and some of the things that she's experienced. So go right ahead. Thank you, Robin.
All right. Thank you, Jana. So as I was talking with Jana yesterday, then I remembered that, you know, how I came to the Ancient Secrets. I wound up being on Bettina Carey's We Empower You Summit, and I heard Dr. Clint speak. And because I have a focus on health and longevity, it particularly hit me that he talked about how Dr. Naram's master teacher lived to 125 and his master teacher lived to 145. And so I thought, well, that's up my alley. I want to know more about how these masters achieve that. And so I wound up being in the 100-day course, and everything about the ancient secrets winds up being things that I've been incorporating into my life, and some of it willingly and some of it not willingly as part of it. And so one of the things that I recognized when I joined the 100-day course was it was going to help me clear out all of my issues around India, because I have had, more unpleasant lifetimes in India than I care to remember. And so one of the things, because I'm in the 3-year certification now, and I have been really focusing on, can I get through enough of that stuff that I'm willing to go to India for the week-long training. So my goal is this coming one, I will be there. And part of the process, like when we're doing the letting go, it's letting go for me is partly this lifetime stuff, but it's like whatever we have going on from whatever lifetime that winds up coloring what we are being able to do or not being able to do in this lifetime. It winds up all having an effect. And so one of the things that I wound up doing in this last miracle experiment game, I decided to take the ticket that Jimbo offered to me so that I could do it without being a mentor. And my goal, because September is my birthday month, and so my goal was to really be upping my game for how to love all of life. And one of the benefits of that is I actually I do this one a lot when I used to get where I would get locked down in anxiety so much that I couldn't do anything. And doing this one and a couple of other ones, but this one is the one, if I start to get that anxiety creep, then I will do that one. And I'm actually producing products now because I don't let the anxiety stop me. And so one of my favorite little products is my little marmazine that you can print off of a single sheet of paper. And it's got, so I created this so that when I'm working with kids in schools and teaching them Marma, then they will have this to be able to remember it. And if it really works to help them reduce their anxiety and be able to start learning, they can actually print more and be able to give them to their friends and family. So I have an experiment going on with the 5th graders that I work with at a local elementary school. And I created, so one of the things that I wound up creating this last week is a page where you can now get this, and it should work. I haven't actually tested it, but if you go to achievinghealthandlongevity.com/hands, then that is where you can actually go and sign up and get this and print it out for yourself. And so one of the things, Jana, give me a prompt. What should I say?
I can't get myself off mute. Robin has been working, as she has said, she's got the little marmazine because she works with, she does things with children, and she's done quite a few things in the community. She's hosted dinners with Luke from their spiritual community. They did I think you did a raffle where you raffled off dinners of mung bean soup prepared by you too. And it sounded like it was a hit. Everywhere she goes, she prepares the mung bean soup. If she's going to a potluck, she prepares it for everybody to be able to help them to feel better. And the mung bean soup, is geared that way to be able to, the ingredients help clear out the body, clear out the toxins, and it's delicious so that people feel better. And Robin does that so that she can instantly get people's attention and to be able to say, hey, there's much more to life than, you know, dealing with your pain. And so anyway, I love that she's working with the students. You know, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about more of what you're doing?
Okay, so so one of the things, and I don't know if my friend Teresa has gotten on. I hadn't seen her yet.
I
So
see she's here.
is she here?
Teresa, if you're here, will you unmute and say hello? Maybe
I'm
not.
gonna-
Maybe it's a different
I'm
Teresa.
going to go ahead and share my screen.
Okay.
For a second, because so I had been planning to do the Marma in schools with kids for a while, and it hadn't happened yet. But because of how much trauma the kids are going through right now, I decided that it was time I needed to do it. So I've got my little pilot going, teaching the Marma with the 5th graders. And but I started with my friend Teresa, who is an artist who works with kids a lot in different contexts. She's a child advocate in court, and she does art with the kids, and she paints their faces, and those stories actually become admissible in court as evidence, and she actually gets what's best for the child. And so, but she started working as a reading buddy, and this is an example of one of the kids who was angry and very disruptive in school because she could not do her 8s in the times tables. And so Teresa worked with her and said, so what color is anger? And it was red. So she said, how about if we draw your 8s in red down the page? And so within about 20 minutes, she knows her 10 through her 10s. And within a couple of weeks, she was actually helping the teacher teach the other kids the times tables. She knew her through her thousands, and she no longer needs her anxiety meds. And so our kids, because of the way they were, isolated during the pandemic, they are really struggling. And so to be able to turn these kids around, I said, we need to be able to duplicate you. So we're creating a program for teachers and paraeducators and volunteers to be able to learn some of the things that she is doing to be able to help kids. And then the other one that I want to share is this one, because this was a middle school girl who was having such heavy suicidal ideation that she was talking about cutting and knives and stuff in Teresa's art class and upsetting all the other kids. And so Teresa had her draw the picture with the squares and circles. The squares and the straight lines represent the negative thoughts, and the circles represent positive thoughts. Within 3 days, she was doing better. And within 5 days, she was thanking Teresa because she was grateful she had been able to change her thoughts and start to think about positive thoughts. And the ABC cards, they're artist trading cards, and so she taught her how to make these with a positive word for each of the letters. And then she would start to give them to her friends and teach them how to make these artist trading cards, because these are like, gifted honor roll students. And once they started getting the thoughts of suicide in their head, they could not stop. And so being able to use the art and the circles and the squares, this girl was able to start turning her thoughts around. And so that's one of the things. So in my talks, I have started to bring out the fact that I had wanted to commit suicide from when I was like 9 until about 21. And I didn't realize until I started to talk about it that I never actually healed the emotions of it. I just got, when I was 21, I learned that we have immortal genes. And if we learn how to turn those genes on, we could potentially live forever. And so I was like, well, I want to learn how to do that. So I just stopped the suicide thing. And I decided I am going to learn how to get myself so clean that I could potentially live forever. And as I've been addressing the suicide issue, then I have started to heal from the attitudes that why I had not liked life before. And so
you're talking about something very powerful, and so many of us have experienced, thoughts of suicide, and some deeper than others. And I mean, Robin, for you to be able to communicate about it with it openly, it shows me that you've now conquered that. And I'm grateful that you're part of the Ancient Secrets community. I would like to think that the Hmong Soup and the Marmas and the Mudras and, just even the Miracle Experiment game has helped in some way. So.
Oh,
yeah.
It absolutely has. And so I just also wanted to mention, when Hope had us visualizing that we're like this string of pearls around the earth, that was brilliant. And that's what this community totally feels like to me. It's like we are this supportive string of pearls around the world that is holding the space of love, that everything can shift for everyone in an instant as soon as they tap into it.
It's so true. I felt that when I was in Hawaii working with the people of Lahaina when they lost everything in the fire. This energy just came through that just held us together, and it moved us through. We were just so divinely guided. And Robin, that's exactly what it felt like. It did feel like a string of pearls being held, holding us all together. This community definitely is a very precious gem, and we're part of the collective. So, Robin, thank you so much for everything that you're sharing with us. Robin's an amazing lady. She's got a lot of things going on. She's got a wealth of knowledge.
Robin, if you could give us that website again or type it in the chat. I did try to find it. There's some great information about you on LinkedIn that if people who want to know more, that's a great place to get some more information about some of your organizations. And I love your resource page for people who are working on grants and that sort of thing. So if you could add that to the chat, we'd be so grateful. And thanks so much.
Hey,
Awesome.
I will do.
Great. I know we've only got just a couple of minutes. I want to know if there's anybody that would like to add anything before we go out into the breakout rooms. Is there anything that anybody would like to share? Anyway, I just am so grateful for everybody. Let's go ahead and rub our hands together and say, I love you and I'm with you. Robin, thank you so much for joining us. And let's unmute, say, I love you and I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
I love you and
Love you and I'm with you.
Thank you,
I love you.
Robin.
And I love you, and I'm with you. I love you, and I'm with you. I love you,
Love you all.
and
Love you and I am with you.
love you, and I'm with you.
Love you and I am with
And
you.
love you, and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I am with you.
I'm with you all.
I love you and I am with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I am with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you. Thank you so much for joining the call today. Thank you for keeping your love and peace in your heart. I love you. I'm with you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Thank you, Jana.